Hey, what's going on, guys? Nothin But Boom, and today I'm introducing you guys to a new Vainglory video. As you can see, I'm playing Taka here. This video was actually recorded with Team Vertigo. We were just talking, not really about what we were playing while we were doing it, so we were on TeamSpeak, but we weren't really talking strategy. We were just kind of casually playing because this was in casual queue, so I didn't really want to post the video because it wasn't really going to help you guys out at all. But we're going to go ahead and start the video out here with a pretty good start. You'll see what happens. X-Retsu in on Celeste on auto attack, following up is actually going to finish her up. Catherine Stormguard goes down, and a Kai 10 back over her is going to be able to finish her off. I then move on to Kashka. Using my auto attacks to my advantage, I actually move out of range of that turret and then back in to finish her off. That's going to be a triple kill for me starting out the round 6-0. We actually went 5 minutes. I skipped like 5 minutes into the game just because I didn't, like what we were doing before was just clearing the jungle over and over again. This was actually when it kind of heated up. So right here I let Glaive get the farm. I don't want to steal his farm because this is his lane, but I do want to help him push the turret. Here we see Catherine come back in, so we kind of just leave. But we did get a good amount of damage onto that turret with not a lot of time there. So Taka actually does a lot of damage. Here I wait for them to follow Glaive because I know they'll fall for it, and then I X-Retsu in on Celeste once again with double auto attack, followed by a Kai 10. That's going to be able to finish her off once again. So, you know, just rinse and repeat. They're going to come back. They're going to fall for it. She didn't build any defense when she got back. So, you know, that was her bad there. Taka is probably one of Celeste's worst nightmares. So if you are playing Celeste and you're going against a Taka, be sure to build defense. You really are going to need it. So here we get the kill onto Kashka, and then I'll get Merciless Pursuit, the stun onto a Scout Trap. Can't get out of it, and that's going to be my first death there. So let's go ahead and let's see. I think we had the 6-ins and we had the Blazing Salvo and boots and a weapon blade. So we're going to need to save up for that heavy steel, which is the best weapon damage item for tier 2. So you have the weapon damage for tier 3, Sorrow Blade. But then it goes weapon, heavy steel, then 6-ins, and then the other ones are like life steal. You have crit chance, you have attack speed, obviously, and then you have like armor pierce, that kind of thing. Here we see actually Catherine coming down. I thought it was our Catherine, but it's actually the enemy Catherine. Here I'm going to pick up our Sorrow Blade. We actually already had the heavy steel. I didn't realize it, but we were waiting for that Sorrow Blade, which is that tier 3 item. We're going to pick up that Kai 10, which is actually free once you get to level 8, which is awesome, so you can just use it whenever you want. Obviously, X-Retsu in on Celeste, once again followed up by a Kai 10 double kill there, and using an auto attack. Here, Kashka engages with a Yummy Catnip Frenzy, which really is just locking her down. It's really not doing anything else. It's locking, obviously, one of us down, but it's not doing anything that's going to, you know, prevent us. She should not have engaged. She should have gone... maybe actually counter jungled us, or just jungled in her, jungled her minions, or killed her minions, because by engaging on us, it gave us another ace, which we already had one of those, and, you know, it's just feeding me even more, basically, because I actually got that kill. So, actually, no, I got the double kill. I'm not sure if I got the triple, but, you know, Glaive or Catherine got the kill. It's just feeding even more. So, never want to feed. If at all possible. If you know that you're not going to be able to win a team fight, honestly, what's the point of doing it, you know? Like, I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know that they're going to lose. They think that if they keep fighting the enemy team that they're going to win eventually, I guess, but that's really not the case. Here we see you're basically just making the enemy team stronger and stronger. Here we see auto attack followed up by Kai 10 is going to be able to finish off Kashka. Here I actually make a pretty bad play. I get hit by a supernova and then another heliogenesis. I missed that one, but then she uses a Solar Storm to try and finish me off, which I do get hit by, not completely finished off though, and then for some reason I go back to try to make something happen, like Celeste over the wall, but I wouldn't be able to, and I get killed there by heliogenesis, but I wouldn't be able to do anything anyway, if you think about it, because there's a turret right there, so if I dived in, I would have died anyway, so I'm not sure why. I was just being too aggressive there. But once again, I know that, like, the enemy team is not building armor, so what's the point for me to build like a bone saw, which is going to pierce through that? I'd just rather have a double monocle, because that's just going to do ridiculous damage on, after you engage with that X-Retsu, you're going to follow that up with an auto attack, and that is when that critical damage is going to come in. So here they're trying to take our gold mine. They're both incredibly low. I actually stall on the wall for a second there. Go in on Kashka, take her out, and then go in on Catherine. This is actually on my main account. I'm surprised at how, you know, like newbie these people were, but I mean, it was fine. I was 13-2, 10 minutes into the game, so that's alright. Let's go ahead and keep farming up here. You you know, just using my auto attacks to my advantage. Got a Blazing Salvo. It's enough attack speed, essentially, to use. So let's go ahead and continue moving here. Let's see. So farming up that medic, we call it a medic because basically it gives you a heal, but also it's in like the, I would guess you would say the front side, because closer to the enemy base is the backside jungle, so closer to the middle, the Kraken pit, would probably be called the front side jungle. A lot of times I just call it the outside, I don't know. But yeah, we did pick up that. We always were farming out their inside. We didn't always roam all the way to their outside because it just wasn't good. Here we go with the Exretsu in, followed up by Kaiten because I couldn't get that auto attack off because she actually used her boots. So that time it wasn't enough to finish her off. But here we see our Catherine going in deep. Glaive getting taken out because he got too greedy because of a kill. Catherine actually getting the kill onto Celeste. And here we see the Yummy Catnip Frenzy goes on to Catherine. Kaiten back over. I probably could have finished her off, but it would have been the sacrifice of me, and I was not going to risk that, so I just went back into the jungle, see if we had any farm while I was there. You know, I would have taken it, but obviously nothing there, and Catherine didn't want to come back down and play, so I was going to go ahead and leave her up in lane while I could, you know, go ahead and do some farming. But actually, their whole jungle was still cleared because of the fact that we did it before we had that team fight, and here we see Catherine roaming all the way into the middle, Glaive and me catching her out, and actually Glaive is gonna miss that kill. He tries to use his blood song. He goes booting after her, and I was gonna finish it off, but he actually told me while we were playing that game on TeamSpeak not to. So that's exactly why I was worried, because he has trouble finishing off kills. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Getting off these doubles on the bottom here. Catherine getting a little mad with her pings. And here we see Kashka roaming into our side of the jungle here. It's going to take a while, actually, for me to get my Exretsu because it takes a little while of a distance. Merciless Pursuit goes onto her by Catherine and stun, and Glaive is going to steal that with an Afterburn. Would have been a knockback, but obviously he killed him with the actually initial damage from that Afterburn. Here we get it caught in a double Core Collapse stun, which would have been followed up by a Solar Storm kill if I didn't move out of it. And here we see Heliogenesis over the wall, which is actually going to kill me. So that's my second death due to Heliogenesis. So here we see Catherine doing what Catherine does, you know, distracting the enemy team from going after Glaive, which is the more squishy one of those two. He's definitely not the tank in this one. You can do support Glaive, but this time Catherine was our tank, so she's just kind of trying to distract them. As you can see, enemy team still trying to target them, using a lot of their abilities on them. She's using the gold mine to her advantage. That is going to aggro when allied heroes are under duress, but obviously there's 3 of them there, so it's not going to do too much, especially since they were at, you know, moderate health. But here I see an opportunity because I know that they're kind of vulnerable. They're not by their turret, they're just in the middle of the jungle, and I'm definitely stronger than them. So here I'm going to go ahead and be able to finish off Celeste after a couple pretty good jukes. She's going to move around, try to get me off in enough time for Catherine to get a stun. But here, Catherine tries to 1v1 me, and Glaive actually steals that with his Afterbird punt. Kashka once again coming in to save the day. Another time when she can leave, she comes in to try to, you know, save the team fight, which, you know, just don't do that. Don't give up the ace when you don't have to. Like, we didn't even know you were over there, and then you just came running in. Like, it's not like we're going to leave you alone because you made a mistake. So really, you have to be careful about knowing which team fights you can, like, if all 3 of us were low, I could maybe see that, but still, honestly, Kashka, and she's behind too, it's just not going to go well for her, especially with 2 tanky, like, Glaive and Catherine, even without defense against a pretty squishy Kashka, Glaive is pretty tanky. Like, Taka, not really, obviously, but Catherine obviously has 2 fountains, so she's tanky, but, you know. So here, Catherine, not really worth me going in because I don't want to waste my abilities on her. I need to do, obviously, on Celeste. Exretsu getting like 400-something damage out of her, just followed up by a Kaiten, couple more basic attacks. That is going to be GG for her. Here we go in, probably on a turret dive, a little bit of lag. Here we see Kashka coming in, try to finish off Glaive. I actually go for the turret, so the turret isn't aggroing us. It's only the enemy team, which we're actually able to finish them off. And then I move, and then attack. Move and then attack, as you're seeing here, to keep up with the enemy team. Use his heroic perk to your advantage. House Kumaha. I actually take 2 turret shots, so the ace buff does not count on me, but that's okay. I don't die from it. And here I go in, but then both teammates run away. So here they come running back in to try to save the aggro, and finally it leaves, so we go ahead and would have finished off the turret, but Celeste obviously respawned. So if we plan a little bit better there, it would have been better, but actually Anna with a Storm Guard and Clutch Boot going to be able to get away from that possible Solar Storm kill there. So going to be wrapping actually up the game pretty soon here. Unfortunately, it doesn't go for too much longer. We just basically finish it up. So I'm going to go ahead and take their inside jungle, I would say outside jungle. Notice how I haven't been in my jungle for forever. I'm using their farm as much as they can because I'm trying to starve them. Now I'm going to roam over to my side because I don't want to be caught in their side alone, especially when all of them are up at, at half health. So that's a little risky. But, just taking the inside when I know they're in lane, that's fine because they actually were killing Catherine, so that is unfortunate. Here they actually go for a desperate attempt of Kraken. I get caught in the Merciless Pursuit. Notice Catherine's use of Merciless Pursuit. She uses it very early, and now that I'm killing Celeste, she has nothing to use on me. So using that early, you have to look at the right time to use your Merciless Pursuit. You can't just waste that stun in the beginning of a team fight for no reason. Like, when she used it, it stopped me from going in on Koshka, but then when she unstunned, like, I wasn't in on her yet, so she should have waited for me to engage, then stun me, and then Celeste might have been able to run away while I was stunned. She probably still wouldn't have been able to, honestly, but it would have been given her a lot better chance. Here, so they have both minion miners, so it's taking me a while to kill the minions themselves. However, we're getting more gold for them as the game progresses because you get 200 gold at max when you kill that minion miner, but over the course of the game, those big minions are worth 100 gold each. So with 2 of those, it's paid off. And if you have a whole wave, which is 1 big one and 3 small ones, that's 100 plus 150. So it's 350 right there. So it's not worth getting the minion miner. So if you guys are behind, it's really, you can get one of them for sure, but it's not worth getting both of them. It's just going to feed the enemy team even more than they need to be, to be brutally honest. Here I go with an Exretsu in on Catherine. They obviously were able to finish off the kill. I did most of the damage, but that's okay. I didn't really care. I just wanted to finish off this turret. Could have actually activated my weapon infusion before I went in on her, but I decided not to. But the Crystal Infusion was up, so the Exretsu did do a lot more damage. Here we activate it, and here I'm critting every single time. So that's the advantage of having that weapon infusion, just having a lot more weapon damage, a lot more attack speed, a lot more shield. I think it actually gives you shield and armor. I'm not positive about that, but I think the weapon infusion gives you it, as well as the crystal infusion does. So let's go ahead and move on. Obviously, critting for 377 damage, doing the most damage out of everybody here, just taking out chunks of damage from that, or chunks of health from that. As the game progresses. I don't know why I didn't want to troll them even more. I just wanted the game to be over with. Here, Glaive runs into the enemy base. I just kind of box and let the game be over with Kraken kind of roaring at the turret. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And for all things Vainglory, you guys know what to do. Keep fresh and shiny. Nothin But Boom. I'm Matt, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.